Yeah, title check-in, Elliott Wilson. I'm back, man. This is a special one, man. I got the African Giant. I ain't seen this guy since the Grammy nominations. Like less than a year, like a little over a year. He's hit us back with another album, man. Twice as tall. My
Yeah,
guy Burna Boy, what's up, sir?
I'm blessed, man. Shalom, my brother.
Bless, man. You got the Jordan one. You feeling like a champion, man? Like I know there's even a Jordan album, 23, man. Right?
Yeah, you already know.
What inspired that, man? The 23. I know you push yourself for greatness. Like what inspired that tune on the album?
Man, you know when you watch The Last Dance and you know that part where he's crying and he's like, he's explaining, he's kind of saying like, like how people don't understand how much he wanted, how much he wants this. Like that's the difference between him and everyone else. That passion there,
Yeah.
like that's kind of what, that's what wrote the tune.
Kind of like the sacrifices that come with success, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's I definitely related to that scene there. So yeah.
Yeah. So why'd you come so quick with this album, man? Twice as tall. Like, African Giant was obviously sort of like your national breakthrough. Everybody that didn't know the movement is connected now. And now with All Eyes, you come so fast with this project. Like, why do you think it was time to come back with another project?
Because that's how I feel. I'm just spontaneous like that, man. And I answer every call to the spirit, So when the spirits call, I answer,
But you got my guy on the hip hop front. You got this guy Sean Puffy Combs involved, man.
Man.
At the beginning of real life, the interludes. I love the interludes. He says that it was important for him to understand the state of mind you were in when you were recording. What was that mind state you were in?
Man, it's just basically making him understand that, like, the life I live, despite, what gets let out to the public, is a real life. So, and obviously Stormzy brought his real life into the thing. So, we're just kind of basically explaining the times in our life, how the times were at that time in our lives,
How things have changed.
Yeah.
What convinced you to bring Mr. Combs in as an executive producer on the project?
Man, because I feel like there was no other person I could think of at that time that could bring to life the vision I already had. He could, especially because he's someone that also understands the need for a bridge to be built, between every black person in every continent of the world.
Yeah.
So this is kind of just setting that pace,
So when did you guys first, because I know a lot of it with this whole pandemic, it's like you're doing this through this, right? Like through, you're not side by side in the studio. Like how were you able in this pandemic to like connect with him and really get the results you wanted?
Man, I believe I'm a person who sets a goal and makes sure it's achieved. You understand? So that's really what it is. Pandemic or no pandemic, there was still, the plan was gonna be followed.
What are when you listen back to the album now, like what was some of Puff's input or touches on the album that you think really added a lot to it and made it what it is?
I mean, Puff is the OG, man. That goes without saying, man. So, I mean, it's something where he will hear another side of certain records and just kind of put his ear in and put his feeling, what he's hearing into it. Like on Naughty by Nature, send him the tune and then he sent it back in like 30 minutes or an hour. And then and then send back another one like the next day, and it was, you can tell that, okay, he sees the vision,
Yeah, you talking about Naughty by Nature. Like I remember talking with you, like that was one of your early hip hop influences, like songs you grew up rocking to and stuff. So being in this position to connect with like people that like were musical idols, like what was that like connecting with Naughty, man? They haven't made a record in a minute. You brought them back.
Man, it's a blessing, man. It's not everyone that gets a chance to work with their childhood artists,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it go as well as you thought it was? I thought it was cool at the end where it's like that last verse you really go in with the bars and then Tretch comes in after you. Like that must have been dope to be able to kind of trade rhymes with Tretch.
It's so amazing, man. It's one of the best feelings I've had in life, you know.
And also, I think the other aspect I saw you was proud of is that with the album, like you have your core group of really outstanding UK Nigerian producers, but we see in the credits here we got Mike Dean, we got Timbaland, like we got a lot of the American heavyweights. Like talk about meshing those sounds and why that was so important.
The bridge is the most important part of this project. Is that bridge, you know. So yeah, that's really, it goes down to every part of the project, from the production to the everything. It's a bridge. It's a project that belongs to us, you know.
Yeah, and also speaks to what we're going through as a people, as a culture, right? Black folk, and you know, even the song with you know, Chris Martin. I know that's very important to you. Like, talk about like the message behind that song.
It's just kind of, you know, making my people and the world understand where all our anger and frustration really comes from. It starts because everything that is happening now in the physical is already happening in the spiritual. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's also kind of a song where it's a prediction of the future, and it's based off of the past.
Yeah, and it's still the same idea is that the monsters you made it's the title says a lot, right? That
exactly
you made this mess. The world's made this mess at this point.
Exactly. We're just the victims who adapted. You know, that's just what it is.
And how did you get Chris Martin involved in it? Was that always the vision?
Always. And you know, I'm very thankful to him, man. He came through in a very solid way, man. You know, so yeah.
I think you'll make another strong statement on the Wet in They Soup record.
Wet in They Soul. Wet
in They Soul. I'm sorry, my brother. You know. The respect that you said they only respect money and violence.
That's the only thing the world has respected since the time of Caesars and the times of the Roman Empire and before that. You know, it's always been some type of money and violence. That's all. That's the only thing that can move anything, for sure.
Yeah. But it must be proud of you to sort of like, at the end of the day, we still got to fight that. I feel like with Puff by your side, it's almost like you guys are fighting for Black power, for Black love, and like even literally with the wake-up call, like a wake-up call to us as people, right? To get involved, to stay active, to deal with everything, right?
Yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely. That's the vision, man. And, you know, it's a dream that I hope one day we would all realize that we're all the same, and you know, we're all brothers in the same struggle. Yeah. And I hope that struggle really unites us to do what's important, you know.
Yeah. I know another thing was that the album ended with Bank on it, and you mentioned Pop Smoke on that joint, and obviously, you know, there was a tremendous loss to lose that brother this year. Like, talk about how that connected with you and why it almost, to me, is like it's a statement about where you're at, but you're also kind of paying homage to him on that joint.
Yeah, but it's like a lot of people who don't really know me personally or hang out with me personally or go party with me and stuff, who don't really know that, like, I was probably the first person to bring Pop Smoke to like play his music in my side of life. So you know, something that it was definitely my favorite new generation artist. And just before he died, like 4 days or like a week before he died, I had a conversation with him on FaceTime. You know, he was in London, and my girlfriend was in the studio with him and stuff. So they FaceTimed me, and I had a conversation with him for like an hour, 30 minutes or some shit. Yeah. You know, talking about how he wanted to come to Nigeria, and I was gonna bring him. We're talking, yeah, we're gonna talk further about it and all that. So he was a great guy, man. You know, he wasn't what a lot, at least to me, because I judge people by the way they interact with me.
Yeah.
That's the only way I know how, you know. So at the end of the day, it's something. And on top of that, like where he stayed and where he got killed in LA, Mount Olympus, right? That's where I stay all the time when I'm in LA. It's like not the same house, but you can take a walk like 2-3 minute walk to where I stay all the time.
Yeah.
So that shows you how vulnerable we all are, and like how anything can happen anytime to anyone.
Yeah.
So that kind of
no, go ahead, I'm sorry.
yeah, so that kind of I actually recorded that song the day I got the news, which was like the day it happened, the day after.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I know like you kind of pour it in the music where it's like, you obviously a thorough dude and you've been through your thing, you've been through your tough times, but like I always said somebody with the music like with Way Too Big and songs like that, it's almost like you're making sure that you don't allow the drama to pull you, right? Like any of the nonsense that you stay in your course and you keep your head up and you move, you move tough, but you move smartly like this. So does that even reinforce it even more about how you have to move out here?
Definitely. Most definitely. Just shows you the importance of knowledge of self and the importance of knowledge of surroundings.
Yeah.
You can never feel too comfortable, ever.
Yeah. And even success doesn't guarantee.
Doesn't guarantee shit.
Yeah.
But a good time.
Speaking of good times, how you dealing with all this lockdown, man? You seem to be like your brother that likes to be out there, travels a lot, lives a different lifestyle. Like, how have you been adjusting to the lockdown, the pandemic, and how things have kind of slowed down?
Man, for me, man, I'm always someone who, hopes for the best and prepares for the worst. So obviously I try my best to make the best of the situation, because obviously I'm not someone who would be at home regularly. I haven't been home for more than a week in the past 3 years. So this is something that, this was a time where I had time to reflect and I had time to find out more about myself, find out more about my history, train mind and body and all that, and come up with this project.
Yeah, no. So you use this time to make a great album. But I know one thing's on your mind is this Grammy stuff, man. On Level Up, you say the Grammys had you sick as fuck. Like, I know obviously disappointed you didn't win, but why do you think it impacted you that much?
Man, yeah, I want to say me per se because it didn't stem from me. Someone who never really believed in awards and all that for validation and stuff. But when I got nominated for the Grammys is something I've always talked about in my music, just on some, it would be nice shit.
Yeah, a goal.
So when I got nominated, it felt great, but I didn't take it to heart like that just because of how I feel generally about awards and stuff. But then the reaction I seen from my people was something I never thought like anything that would concern me could do that,
Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of made me know that I have to do this for them.
For what you represent, right? Your inspiration.
And for the people who strongly believe that it's impossible, who are so convinced that it's impossible that that's ridiculous.
Well, that's why we're going for it all over again, right? With this project, Twice as Tall. Why do you think that Twice as Tall is a better album than African Giant? Like, what were you able to accomplish here that maybe makes this a notch above the last album? How did you level up here?
You see, this is the mistake people make, man. I'm not a modern day artist. I'm a spiritual musician. You understand? So I do not put projects together and release them so they can be compared to each other. It's like I release them because that is how I'm feeling in that part of time in my life, and me making that project and pouring it all in there, just makes that time of my life just immortal.
Yeah, time capsule. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing you talk about at the end of one song. That you're legendary. Like you always, to me, is always the artist who's looking at the long game, right? Like you're not in it for the short term. Like you here for if they ain't into Burna Boy now, they're gonna get sick of you because you ain't going nowhere.
Exactly. So help me. Most High.
So what do you think is some of the keys for artists like that, like to want to aim for more, right? Like some guys, a lot of times with new artists today, it seems like they want to have a short, successful run and never have a up, never have a down, right? And then just kind of walk off. But it seems like with you, you're willing to like go for the long distance, and there may be some ups and downs in it, but you want a bigger score at the end, a bigger journey.
There's something Fela Kuti said. He said, music is a weapon. Like music is spiritual. If you play with music, you die young. You understand? And people just took it, a lot of people took it literally and didn't really understand what he meant by that. You understand? Music is something that is so spiritual that if you use it in a way that you were not, that is not you, that is not called for you, then it only ends one way. Do you understand? You're not chosen. Do you understand? So that's really what he's saying. These days, the word many are called, few are chosen applies to that. But now, even these days, some more people that are not even called are even still here. Do you understand? So many are. So that's just what it is. Me, I'm not, and I can never look at things the same way the next man does. I know exactly the reason I'm here and what my position is and what my mission is, you know. So I'm not of my music and my art and what I'm trying to do is not of this world, you know.
Yeah. So it's almost it's in your spirit. It's like it's not even a choice at this point.
Yeah.
And the success kind of, I guess, reaffirmed it to you and just proved that this is what you should be doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we get out of here, man. So when we do get that Grammy, though, man, we got the speech ready, or we gonna do?
I will cross that bridge when we get there by the grace of God. You know?
Well, let's do this, man. When you get that Grammy, man, I need that first interview, man. When after you get that Grammy, wherever you're at, I'm gonna fly to, and we're gonna sit down, have a cocktail, man, and talk about it, man.
Ain't no more, my brother.
Is that a deal?
Shalom, my brother. Most definitely.
Yes, sir. All right, Burna Boy. Thank you, sir, man. Continued success, man.
Blessings,
man. Yeah, title check in, Burna Boy. Get that album Twice as Tall.